Okay, guys, just a little hint before I cut the siding with the saw. I already draw my 8.5 inch line right there. Um, well, that's 8.5 inch from this 2x4 down the ground 2x4, but it's gonna be different if I'm trying to get a line right here. That's like an 8, okay? Because I went up another half inch from right there up here, because I have to measure from up here. So from here to get my line over here, it's just a half-inch different. So from here to here at this line, it's gonna be 8 inch. Okay, it's just simple as that. Okay, so that's how I made my line over here. So the line over here to be straight with this line, that's how I do it. That's an 8.5 inch from the 2x4, and that's an 8 inch from right there at this board. Okay, so that's a different. But you would want to have a straight line. I would want to have a straight line, straight cut, to replace this siding here, and with this 2x4 with the same height cuts. Okay, because I don't want anything complicated. Like, well, this is already complicated enough because I just want to replace this much instead of like this high. You see that? You see, because I replaced it that high because of this board over here. That's a different, because it has more molding over here. And, you know, it's more molding, and the board was not good. So over here is less molding. So that's all I need to. That's all I want to replace is just this short area right here, only down the ground. I might not have to replace this piece over here. I might have to end up cutting down like from right here, okay? Because there's a 2x4 inside too, starting like somewhere around here. So I might not have to replace this area right here up to about right there, okay? See, this 2x4 is inside. It's right there. That's where it stops. The 2x4, that's where it stops. Somewhere around here, okay? So, just a little hint about saw cutting for you guys. Before you do any cutting, make sure your ground is level. Like, this place was like all garbage and, you know, leaves and stuff. I had to get a shovel. Like, I had to get a shovel. Where's the shovel at? But you know what I'm talking about. I got the shovel and shovel all the ground. Like, get all the dirts out. You see that? Yeah, I got all the dirts out so the ground will be level for me to saw, to cut. You know, using this saw to cut, it needs to be level. You know why? Because look at this. When I cut, it's gonna look like this. Okay, the saw gonna stay like this. And if the ground is so high, it got so many dirts and leaves, you know, the saw gonna be all the way up here somewhere. You know, so I need to have a clean ground, a flat ground, you know, down enough for me to. And make sure if I use this saw, if you guys use this saw, if your saw is like this high and big, you need to cut like a line like higher than your saw, okay? If I'm gonna cut like, if I'm gonna cut the siding somewhere down here, that's gonna be impossible for this saw. Just to let you guys know this, okay? It's gonna be impossible. So I have to make a drawing line like higher than my saw. You see that? So I can cut the line across. So I can cut this board easily. Just holding two hands and start from here, and cut it over, and I won't hit any ground because my ground is short enough, okay? Same thing with the inside of this 2x4 in here. If I cut it from the inside, you know, but I don't think I'm gonna cut it from the inside. I might have to cut it from the inside, like somewhere behind this 2x4, because I'm gonna end up cutting from the outside in like that, and the another half I'm gonna go inside and cut it, you know, in half, the other half. So I'm gonna have to end up having the saw from the inside like this. But look at my saw. See that? It's tall enough to sit right there at the 2x4. So that's how low my saw can go. I cannot go any lower than that. That means I cannot cut any lower than this line, okay? So make sure you draw a cutting line to be taller than your saw, okay? And that's the only hint I want to give you guys, let you guys know in this part of the video, okay? So look at it, just by testing the blade. This is the tallest the blade cutting can go. So I draw a line a little bit taller just in case, you know. if I'm not persistent enough or I'm not a straight cutter, you know. So I can live by that. I mean, if it's you know what I mean, if it's too short, if the line is too short, you cannot cut it with this cutter, with this saw, okay? So just make a note right there. Make a cutting line higher than the saw blade, okay? Higher than what the saw can do. How the saw what the saw can cut, okay? This saw right here. So this is the perfect cut right there. And I'm starting to cut it right now.